Mental health.
Mental health.
Mental health.
Mental health.
Mental health.
Mental health. Mental health. Social emotional learning.
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 Mental health is something that everyone struggles with, and it isn't something that's weird or taboo. Everyone should talk about it.
I wish I knew that it was a common thing, like, to talk about, and it's okay to let someone know if you're going through something. I wish I knew more about how to, like, deal with a friend or a peer who's struggling with a mental health issue, because I think, like, we're taught a lot about how to, like, identify someone, but not, like, how to help them.
I think everybody's stressed at school. We live in a very high pressure, highly mobile environment. People are move, go quickly. And often we have to stop and take a look at our surroundings, but we don't want to do that because of the culture. And not to mention we're all really high achieving students within our high school. So stress is rampant and affects everybody. So dealing with it and knowing how to deal with it is very important.
I think it's important to start talking about mental health not in elementary school. I feel like elementary school is too early, because I remember we used to do SELs, social emotional learning, in elementary school, and it just, like, went right over me. Like, I don't remember what they said. I don't remember it impacting me at all. I remember, like, not knowing what they were talking about. But in middle school, I feel like it's important to talk about it then, because that's, like, when the issues start to happen, and then they only get worse throughout high school. So I think it should be talked about in middle school and in high school, and just repeated, because although every assembly that we have about social emotional learning just sounds cliche every single time, but I feel like even if it helps one person in the crowd, like, it's useful.
I think the earlier the better. Probably 6th grade is good.
I'd say in elementary school. 6th grade, elementary school. I wish I was informed even as early as 11, because that's when I started middle school, and that's kind of when stress started being associated with school, and kind of the positive aspects that I liked about school turned a little bit more negative.
Late elementary school or early middle school?
When I started middle school, 2nd or 3rd grade,
I would probably tell an educator to just, like, be sensitive and supportive, because sometimes, like, I think it's really difficult for kids, and, like, they just need a supportive figure in their life who's not their parents.
I would say try to create an environment that makes the student comfortable, because if a student doesn't feel comfortable or trusting of an educator, then it's probably not going to be very natural for them to express their feelings to an educator. So I'd say create an environment that makes the educator someone who they can trust and feel comfortable around.
Everyone's very stressed at all times, and sometimes people are, like, outward about that, and they're like, oh, I'm so stressed, obviously, but then other people are kind of, like, in their thoughts, like, actually deeply stressed, and it's about more than just, like, schoolwork.
I feel like going to a social counselor, for some reason, it's like admitting defeat. Like, I had to go to the social worker. And I guess this is kind of just sad, that the fact that people don't want to admit that they need help. They want to be completely independent.
the school really needs to, like, step back and look at the lives of students from not only an academic or athletic or extracurricular perspective, but from a mental perspective.
There just really isn't anything that's really directly helping the issue at our school other than the health class. And because it's a health class, it feels like it's mandatory more than it's something that they want us to do, want us to know about.